Following his unanimous decision loss to Dvalishvili, Umar Nurmagomedov revealed that he sustained a broken hand in the opening round. Today, Umar provided an update on his recovery, stating that he expects to return to competition within 6 months.
Бегал, короче, рука уже настолько зажимается. Нужно будет бить через 4 месяца. Скорее всего, вернусь через 6.
Joe Rogan had high praise for Dricus Du Plessis following his dominant victory over Sean Strickland, emphasizing his impressive performance and ongoing evolution as a fighter. He thinks Dricus just keeps getting better. Joe said DDP fought really well, man. He's a tough puzzle to figure out. A very tough fight to figure out. He's a big for 185 pounds too. That's a big He did a great job of setting up, throwing that low kick, switch kick to the body, and kept that pace up for the entire 5 rounds. He keeps getting better. Dricus Du Plessis is fired back at Khamzat Chimaev. After Dricus secured the win over Sean Strickland, Khamzat dismissed the fight as bullshit. In response, Dricus criticized Khamzat, calling him a waste of potential and suggesting that his manager is the one handling most of his social media activity. Dricus said, "I'll see you when I see you. I hope we can make it International Fight Week, a big one." I think he tweeted something. He actually did tweet it, because when his tweets make sense, it's his agent, and when it's just random English words, it's him. He said this fight is a bullshit fight. Well, try to get to a fight. Couldn't get the welterweight title, definitely not getting the middleweight title. Talk about a waste of potential. Last week, Dominick Cruz announced that he was forced to pull out of his upcoming fight against Rob Font due to dislocating his shoulder twice in the past 8 months. He also revealed his retirement from MMA. Dana White gave his thoughts on Dom's retirement, stating that he was impressed that Dom had stayed in the sport as long as he did.
Dominick Cruz announced his retirement. Guy some people think is the greatest bantamweight of all time, at worst the second best bantamweight ever. I'm curious, just what do you make of Dominick's career?
And he's great on the mic too. So you know, when you have the type of experience and the type of career he's had, and you can sit in the booth and talk fights, it's awesome. So he'll have a great career after his career.
Was that his call to like kind of hang it up like after another injury? Did you guys have a conversation?
Listen, I'm blown away that he's hung in there as long as he did. I mean, who's been more injured than this guy in his career? It's fascinating, and the mental drive to want to just keep coming back and trying again and again and again after so many surgeries and so many injuries. You got to give it to him, but I'm glad that he finally hung it up.
Kamaru Usman was unimpressed with the performances of both Dricus Du Plessis and Sean Strickland in their fight over the weekend. Although Dricus won nearly every round on the judges' scorecards, Usman believes the fight remained highly competitive until Dricus broke Sean's nose. According to Usman, this injury forced Sean to abandon his game plan, ultimately shifting the momentum of the fight.
But once the nose got broken, all that went out the window. So I think Dean Thomas is right. But I'm not going to be as harsh as saying that he doesn't want to go there. I do think in his head he believed that he would eventually get to that place. But, and it's not just criticism on his part. Like the fight didn't look great on both parts. Let's just be honest. It didn't look great on both parts. We said that before this fight. We said that Dricus, what separated him, especially in that first fight, is his ability to potentially mix up those takedowns like he was mixing it up. He didn't do that for the first, 3 rounds of this fight? And the first 2 rounds were razor close, Henry. Razor close to where it could have gone either way. So I don't want to just say that Sean looked bad. I think he had intentions of doing what he thought he could do in his head. But yeah, once that nose went, that was all she wrote.
Daniel Cormier praised Dricus Du Plessis following his performance at UFC 312, stating that Dricus looked even more impressive than in his previous fight against Sean Strickland. DC scored every round in favor for Dricus and argued that the only true competitive round was the first.
He goes into this fight with Sean Strickland, a rematch, against a guy that fought him very competitive the first time that they fought. He not only wins the fight, he wins the fight more impressive and won every single round over Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland and his team recognized and understood that they couldn't have close rounds. But the way Du Plessis fights makes you fight him the way that he wants to fight. He makes you stop. He makes you wait. Because when you try to attack him, He's so good at changing speed, changing direction, and hitting you from odd angles that you can't really get a beat on it. He went out there tonight, and honestly, the only truly competitive round was round 1. And I thought that Du Plessis won that with a late explosion that won him the round. Round 2, he continues to press, continues to get better. He's up 2-0, and he's up 2-0 pretty convincingly. Round 3, he keeps doing what Dricus does, right? He gets forward, and he's very active. I think that's the one thing that Dricus doesn't get enough credit for. He's so active. Even if he's throwing kicks, he's throwing something and making you judge that. I thought for sure he was going to have to wrestle more tonight. Even when he said he wasn't going to wrestle, I didn't believe it. I thought that in order for him to win this fight, he had to wrestle. He did. He got 1 takedown. And even in the octagon, he told me afterwards he didn't plan on getting that takedown. Sean Strickland knew that he needed to do more, but he never could get started. Dricus Du Plessis, the man.
Tom Aspinall recently played the fighter most likely to on his TikTok. When asked which fighter could deliver the biggest shock of this year, he named Magomed Ankalaev. Aspinall believes Ankalaev has the potential to defeat Alex Pereira at UFC 313.
This is Tom Aspinall, and this is UFC's most likely to.
Get in a bar fight.
It could be anyone. It could be any of us. That's easy.
Become the new GOAT.
Ilia Topuria.
Cry during a sad movie.
Me.
Become a millionaire outside the UFC.
There's some smart people in fighting, you know. If you can apply yourself to the dedication that you can to fighting, you can do that in other areas and make money. So any of us could do that.
Become a global superstar.
I'm going to go Ilia Topuria again. I think he is on the rise to doing massive, massive things in the sport.
Become a comedian.
Sean Strickland.
Brighten someone's day.
Derek Lewis.
Cause the biggest shock this year.
I'm not going to say me. It's not even a shock. I'm going to say Ankalaev has potential. I'm not saying he will, but he has potential to win that fight.
Land the craziest KO this year.
I'm going to say, because he's not had one yet, MVP, because he's got that potential of doing some crazy stuff in there. So I'm going to say MVP. He's not got a knockout in the UFC yet, but I think there's one coming this year.
Tim Welch shares his insights on a potential matchup between Dricus Du Plessis and Khamzat Chimaev. Following Dricus' dominant victory over Sean Strickland, Tim Welch predicts that he will be able to withstand Khamzat's pressure in the first 2 rounds and capitalize on the later rounds, where Khamzat has considerably less experience.
I do believe that he is going to be a very tough challenge for Khamzat. I feel like he's going to be able to last those first couple rounds versus Khamzat, and then when it gets to the 3rd, 4th, 5th round, his cardio might take over. I'm fired up for that fight. That's going to be an interesting one. I'm curious the odds on that, because Khamzat for sure is going to come out, and in the first 2 rounds, he's going to take DDP down. And there's a good chance he's going to take his back. Is DDP going to be able to survive the rear naked choke, the face smash when he smashed Robert Whitaker's face? I do believe he's gonna. And then in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round, something Khamzat really hasn't experienced yet. It's going to be a phenomenal fight. It's going to be a huge fight, and I'm fired up for it. Khamzat versus DDP is next.
Alex Pereira linked up with Ilia Topuria. Alex posted a photo of the two on X. He wrote 2024 was ours. Shama. Ilia posted the same photo to his Instagram. He captioned it, "I hope you enjoyed our 2024, but 2025 will be even better." Israel Adesanya ran into Dricus Du Plessis. Izzy shared footage of their encounter on his Instagram story. During the interaction, Dricus showed respect to Izzy, acknowledging his accomplishments and stating that he has reached the legendary status of Anderson Silva in the middleweight division.
And you say, I'm really happy with saying, fuck that, you go. Yeah. I said this, I don't know if you heard, but when I said in the video, you have Anderson Silva status. Oh, yeah. You don't have to worry about anything else.
Dricus also ran into Merab Dvalishvili. Merab posted the footage to his Instagram. In the caption, he wrote, "I just met still champion Dricus Du Plessis this morning. Shared techniques and we both agreed that cardio is the key."
That's not there. If you go there,
Here there is shoulder, and there is also a vision. Number 1. Yes.
Even if I get it's a lot of power, I will need to
I don't think normal people understand what is going on.
But we know.
Yeah, we know.
The legs. See how I feel safe.
I give them space sometimes.
Dustin Poirier still harbors animosity towards Conor McGregor. Following their third fight, in which Dustin secured a first-round TKO victory after Conor snapped his leg, tensions escalated further when Conor made post-fight threats towards Dustin.
He was saying he was going to murder me and I was going to not make it home and stuff like that, and that's what really upset me this week. Even when he was sitting there on the ground with his busted leg, he was looking at me going like, I'm going to kill you. Like, but what is wrong with you, bro? This is a sport, this is a fight. We can dislike each other, but you don't say that. You know, he has a family. I want him to be home safe with his family. I want to get home safe to my daughter, win or lose, you know? I don't play those kind of games.
Now over 3 years later, Dustin has made it clear that the bad blood remains, stating that if he encounters Conor in public, it will be a fight to the death. Dustin said, "No, of course not. We will fight to the death if I see him. I don't respect him as a man. As an athlete and a fighter, he's done some incredible things. He's very gifted and is special in that way when it comes to combat. But as a human being, nah."
And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos.
Here are the 3 top comments from last video. These comments are in reference to Belal Muhammad going off on Sean Strickland. The first one's from Teardrop. It says, "Belal stops at 151. You're welcome." The second one's from Gunner Knox 662. It says, "That was slick. Trying to trick me into listening to Belal talk." And the final one's from Ryzen1. It says, "Bilal's constant yapping is crazy for a champion with no defenses."
Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.